Okay guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about word count, and word count determines the ideal content length. It talks about the recommendations from Google, which aims for around 2,000 words per page for better ranking, but that also includes your homepage. The longer the content typically provides more comprehensive information, giving a better user experience. And you want to take this information with a grain of salt, because honestly, if you just have a bunch of words on a page just so you meet Google's requirements, it's not necessarily going to give a great user experience. It's also going to tell Google that you don't really know what you're talking about. You can't just ask ChatGPT to write 2,000 words about one thing and without reviewing it and kind of making sure that it makes sense. You have to make sure that there's a human element to the information that you're putting out there. You know, Google might say that it needs 2,000 words, but that's not necessarily true. And I'm going to show you exactly what that means using the examples from before when it was talking about the 7 ways to reduce stress. So if I was a physician and I was looking to write an article to kind of gain those top spots, this is what I would do to make sure about how long that content actually needs to be. So we're going to go over here. And you can see I have my SEO plugins here, and this is Keyword Surfer. And so this shows estimated monthly traffic. This shows about how many number of words are on the page. And then this is about how many keywords, exact keywords are in here. But here's the thing. What's necessarily right here is not necessarily exactly what the article that was written. The reason why is that it's picking up other words that are on your page. So I'll show you for an example. Like, see here, 7 tips to avoid stress. We've got our image right here. So I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm just going to copy it all the way down to the conclusion. And then inside Google, I'm just going to type in word counter. So I'm going to click right here, word counter, and then I'm just going to paste in that article. So let me move my little video out of the way. But you'll see this entire article, which ranked for the top snippet inside of Google, is only 309 words. So it was concise enough, it answered a question, but 309 words was enough to get the point across. So I would just make a note of that, like 309 words, featured snippet, right? So I would have my bulleted list, 309 words. And then I would go back here to the Mayo Clinic, move my video back out of the way. So I would go back here to the Mayo Clinic, and then I would do the same thing. So I would take the stress relievers, all this information, and I would just copy it, because what our keyword surfer was telling us is not exactly the correct information to how long the article needs to be, because it's taking into account every single word that's on this page. So we're going to go over here to our word counter. I'm just going to delete that, and then we're just going to add in this one. And so you can see here's our entire article, and we can see that it's 1,084 words. So even though at the beginning of this I told you 2,000 words is for the best, most in-depth content, you can see that Mayo Clinic is getting away with it with just 1,000 words. So as an SEO professional, I would then take this article, take that article, go through the top 5, and I would see exactly how many words are on the page and how I can make that article better by giving it more information. And in doing that, we're not just adding more words to the page, we're adding more detail that answers more questions for our user. And so Google should in turn use our information over these. And that's not only going to get you more visitors on your page, people are also going to see you as the authority, and they might link out to your guide about these stress reducing tips. And that can then just bring up more and more authority on your article, on your website, which brings more visitors, which in turn can turn those into clients. See how everything just kind of makes a big picture? So we want to make sure that we have the most words on the page, but we're actually telling the story in a proper way that people understand exactly the questions that they have to get answers. And then you want to answer those questions, but then they know that you know what you're talking about, and then they want to make that appointment with you to solve the rest of their problems. Like, you're answering this question now, but there's a bigger picture involved, which is why they would want to come and see you as a client if you were a psychiatrist. And I can show you guys another example of this. Like, Just to kind of put this into like a local sense for you, obviously I have blonde hair. I look for a hairstylist that is a blonde professional, right? And so how I would do that if I was a hairstylist trying to make a name for myself, I might belong to a bigger salon, but also I might want to have my own side thing, right? Like I want to be able to have my own clients to where people aren't just giving me the customers. I want people to follow me wherever I go. If I want to belong to this own salon, if I want to open up my own thing down the road, I want people to trust that I'm the person that is going to do that for them. And here's an example of that, right? So here's an example. I just typed in how to care for blonde hair because as a user that's looking for information, I want to find somebody that knows the most about how I should care about my own hair, because my first step is I want to do it at home. I just want to know the steps that I need to take to be able to care for my blonde hair at home. But over here, we can see Google has an AI overview. So they have pulled the top information from these blog posts to give you these key points. Because although as a business, I want to be able to answer the questions in detail and have those users on my page, Google is also a website and they want to keep you on their website as long as possible. So they're going to find ways to answer your questions quickly and hope that you stay on and just go ahead and ask your next question. That's how word count kind of comes into play, is because over here we can click on each one of these articles and we can get more in-depth answers to our questions. But if we're just looking for short answers, then we can get our answers from here. Like, why does this matter for a hair salon or a hairstylist at a salon? I want to teach people how to take care of their hair at home because I'm building up that trust factor, right? I am showing that I'm the authority that tells you how to take care of your blonde hair. You might be a brunette hairstylist, but if you're giving me the most in-depth information on how I can keep care of my hair at home, then that right there shows me that you're an authority in this space, right? And so not only do I trust you, but also if I go to your website and you're writing this blog post, but you're also plugging in the products that I need to be able to care for my hair at home, you're taking one more step out of my day. I don't have to go and sit there and research through the best products because you're already telling me that these are the best, because you're the authority and I'm taking what you say at face value. I might go ahead and research my own based off of what you said, but the thing is like everybody has a very short attention span. And so if you're just immediately giving us the answers to the questions, and the question that we have is, what product should I use for this? You're plugging in that. I need purple shampoo. Here you go. Guess what? You're getting commission off of that. So you're taking this free information that's online and you're getting paid. And up here, we see 170 people are searching for this a month. So we know hair products are not cheap. So if you're getting $30, $70, $100 when somebody clicks on your blog post, that's free money. And that is you getting paid for taking the time to give the most in-depth information. And so let me just show you what I mean from a hairstylist, right? Because you can have a hair product website, you can be a hairstylist, you can be the hair salon. But if I'm a hairstylist and I want you to trust that I'm the authority on that, I want to have a full in-depth blog post. I want to have before and after pictures. I want to have product placement. I want to have an infographic about the best ways to care for your hair. But I also want to have a video showing you how to care for your blonde hair at home. And then you know what I'm going to do? If you're in my local area, and this is where kind of local SEO comes into play, if you're in my local area, I'm going to look up how I can book with you. So not only am I getting the most real estate on Google by providing images and video and infographics, and I'm providing bullet points that shows you these steps in great detail, but also I'm giving you the chance to come into my salon and get, $200 to $300 plus whatever, and I might share that information with my friends. So that's the easiest way for you to get the most information onto Google. And all we're doing right now is asking how to care for blonde hair. So here's that example. This is Hair by Natalia. So she is a hairstylist. And so we're going, how to take care of blonde hair. We see a beautiful blonde haired woman. Here's so this is our H1, this is our H2, and then we're breaking it down into a listicle. You're gonna wash less. Guess what? Here's the plug for the dry shampoo. And deep condition, guess what? Here's the plug for that product. And the image of the product. And then this, it's purple because this is what Google had pulled into that over there. So to maintain your blonde at home, it's telling you this, and this is why Google pulled that. You want to answer the question, and then guess what? Here's another product placement. And then you're going to keep going down, keep it bright with purple shampoo, and then here's that purple shampoo. And then guess what? Here's a product placement for your curling iron. And then you got the spray for the environmental factors. You're talking about trimming. So now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I need to make an appointment with my hairdresser. And then it's telling you to use this product if you're going to the pool. And then this is just a pure plug on Olaplex, which is a lot of hairdressers recommend at the salon. And then it's telling you to swap out your shower head. One thing that I would do here is as an Amazon affiliate, I would plug to the right shower head, I think, and then and just doing one with the filter, and then I can get that Amazon affiliate money too. But see, she breaks this down, and that's how she gets featured in the featured snippet. And then down here, this is where I would kind of change it up a little bit. If you're seeing someone new, don't be afraid to ask for pictures of their past work. But then here by Natalia, I would make this clickable, and then I would also add this. I would say, book with me now. And that would bring me directly to your appointment page. And then I could make an appointment to make sure that I'm booking with you. I don't want you to answer my question and then I go look for somebody else. But if you're here in my local area, I would book with you immediately because I can see that you're truly helpful with all of the information that you've provided here. You've provided great details. You've provided all the products that I'd need, but just to take this a step further, I would have an infographic that puts all of these 10 bullet points into an infographic, because that's one other thing that Google is going to put on their website, right? You're already ranking for one thing, so it's going to be easy to rank for the other by just putting this into picture and word form, so that way it's shareable content. Another thing I would do here is I could have a Pinterest pin. Pinterest is very big with women, especially with hair products and stuff like that. So I would have a shareable pin that you could share on Pinterest, which would also work for other social media platforms as well. But also up here, I would have a video showing you exactly these 10 steps, but I would be in my salon with a friend or a client, and I would show all of these 10 steps, exactly how you have it laid out. I would have all of these 10 steps in video form of you doing exactly what they're doing, so that way people can really get the full idea of how to care for their hair, but that's also taking up more real estate inside of Google. So you can see here, right? We have our featured snippet, and I'll show you Goldilocks, their product placement, but they do really great work with their product placement. And then we'll go down here. So what people are saying, like, these are videos. This is a TikTok from a week ago. This is just somebody giving care tips. It's a minute and 30 seconds long, but it's just somebody talking in their car about care tips for their blonde hair. And then here is a YouTuber from 2 weeks ago. It's talking about the most underrated hair care products. And then somebody from just a month ago is giving healthy tips for maintaining bleached blonde hair. I'm not asking for a 10-minute video, just a minute and a half, just a YouTube short or a TikTok or an Instagram reel of just showing people how to care for their hair. And then you can keep your product placements, you can do all this stuff, but it's another thing that goes onto your blog post to keep people on the page, which we'll go into that into greater detail at a later time. And I don't want to overwhelm you with this. I just want to kind of show you how word count ties into all of this, right? We're not just doing 2,000 words on a page. We're just putting in the most helpful information to give the best picture to Google. But we'll come over here to this is the first SEO feature on Google. So that's going to be right up here. 10 easy pro tips for maintaining blonde hair at home. And so you see Goldilocks.com, they have salons, but also they sell a lot of products. And so you can see all of the related products to this blog post are right here. And so here's all of their products. It's a great plug to take the quiz to kind of see what products you would need. But down here it's going to break down how to maintain blonde hair, right? So you're going to protect it from the heat. Here's an internal link, internal link, internal link. And then you're going to come down and it's telling you to keep it hydrated. But guess what? Here is that product that you need right there. So you're not having to read anything. You can see what you need right here. Guess what? It's $44. So if I am looking to take care of my hair, it's $44, it's $32, it's $36. So, you know, just by having the top ranking page on Google, you know, you're looking, somebody's going to get the shampoo, they're going to get the conditioner. That's over $50 right there, you know? And then of course you want to get the serum. And so you can see how this just kind of builds. And then, so we're going to see like hair mask, but here's your before and after picture. This is great. And it also highlights the Brilliant Blonde Purple shampoo. You're not just doing a before and after image, you're plugging in the product that helped make that happen. And guess what? It's right here. And people can easily click on that, add it to their cart, and, you know, just keep the journey going. And like we're breaking into more information, more internal links, things they recommend. It's bold. It's telling you to take action. And then right here, it's telling you to join their email list, which is like a nice plug for you to be able to get more tips and tricks from them. You got more internal links. Like they're just keeping you, letting you know that they have exactly all the answers to what you need. And they're going to keep you on their website as long as possible. And then it's telling you like take caution with oils, and here's their signature serum, before and after picture for that serum. And then you're going to come down and it's telling you read the labels, avoid sulfates, and then it's going to give you another product plug. But guess what? They're all right here on the side of your site for you to be able to get it. Look, here's the hydration bundle right here. That's almost $200. That's the easiest way to make money, by having the top ranking factors on Google. And so down, you're going to see they broke theirs down into a listicle, and that's why Google was able to pull that into their featured snippet as well. And they're telling you here, try our products, you know, and guess what? Here's the Pinterest pin. And the one thing that I can say that would make this like a little bit better, because they did a great job with the before and afters. They did a great job adding in that Pinterest pin, but adding in an infographic and adding in a video of one of their hairstylists showing these 10 pro tips for maintaining your blonde hair at home, just having that video would help them take up more real estate inside of Google. So for this article, we're going to just take this and we're going to type it into the word counter as well. And you can see 1,545 words. So you can see all of the top rankings take about 1,500 words, but we'll just do one more example because we just want to, we have Goldilocks right there, but we didn't do Wella blog. So this is Wella blogs, or Wella Professionals blog, How to Maintain Blonde Hair, the Complete Guide. I love the title. Here is a great image of somebody with blonde hair. And then here's the internal links to how to achieve the perfect fade of blonde, you know, things to know before you color your client's hair. See, this is geared more towards stylists. It's not necessarily answering the question of how to care for it at home, but like, which is okay, but I would maybe add this at the end, because I want Google to know that I'm answering that question. So how to maintain blonde hair. I don't necessarily need things to know before you color your client's hair. Like that could be at the end. Like it looks like that was just kind of added in there to just kind of add more words to the page. But if you're speaking directly to stylists, like that could be its own post, or that could be at the end. Because right here, we want to have these how to keep blonde hair healthy with at-home care. And the one thing I did notice from Google, this is written in 2024, which I believe the last two that we've looked at were a lot older. And so just knowing this, I already know that I'm not going to rank at number 1 because I'm only listing 8 care tips, not 10, which is what Google was already showing is 10. So if I'm writing 8, I'm definitely not going to make it to the number 1 spot, but you know, just kind of use that as an opportunity to build. So I would update this for 2025 and add in those 2 more. Also, this text is like a little bit hard to read. Like the words are spaced very far apart, making it kind of hard. The bold looks good, but just from a readability standpoint, which we'll get to in the next video, we see this is exactly what we came to look for. That's why it's hidden. If I was just reading this blog post to get more information, I already would have clicked away because I was like, I'm not a stylist. So that's my personal experience. But so how to keep blonde hair healthy, we see number 1. We see our product placement right here. And then this gives you another product placement, and this gives you for deeper damage repair. So you can see apply a weekly hair mask, and here's the mask. Prevent and repair damage in 90 seconds. Shower filter. I would have linked out to that shower filter. Heat styling. You know, finish styles with the right shine spray. Here you go. We've got internal links everywhere, which is great. We've got product placement, which is great. How to keep blonde hair blonde in between appointments. We've got a little listicle right here, but I kind of would have listed those 4 out so that way that could get featured inside of Google. And then, but the one thing that I do like about this blog post is that they've given you a video on how to see this in action. But how to keep blonde hair blonde in between appointments with this glaze and everything. I almost would have made this its own blog post, but it does say that it's the ultimate guide. So as an ultimate guide, I would have liked to have seen a video for each of the steps maybe, or one that ties them all in together, just right there at the top. And then you can see the Color Fresh mask, like, so they do have a video for that. Again, I would like to see that at the top. And then you can click here to see the hair care guides. And then, you know, I would have linked it to every single one of these. I wouldn't have just linked those out as articles. I would internally link to those so people can see them and not just see that that was a resource from your own website. And again, I would give a plug to book at one of my salons. And I did see somewhere on here, like you see all the way up here where it says find a salon, I would put that down here in my footer, or I would definitely put it down here inside of the template for my blog post to say find a salon near me, because that's the perfect way for people to come and book with you or one of your stylists. And so let's just go up here, find the salon, and we're just going to go 32541. All right, so it's showing Smart Style, Supercuts, 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 and Ulta. So this kind of shows me that it's not an individual stylist, and it's not even a small salon that's in a local area. They're just tying in other larger stores, which shows that it's kind of bigger. So out of somebody that has a big company like that, I would expect a little bit more from their website. But just to keep it going with the word count, we see there's 2,152 words. But this is a great example because, right, there's 2,152 words on this page. But guess what? a lot of it has nothing to do with what the question was in the beginning. So there's probably, if we go up here to, before we get to our thing, how to maintain, it takes a lot of skill before you color your client's hair, right? So there is 370 words before we even get to answer the question. So that's why I would have clicked away immediately, because I didn't see the answers to my question and I have a short attention span, right? So I would just take that away, and then I would use that space to add in the extra 2 things. And then also, instead of just having video plugs to show how to use your hair care products, I would literally take a video and just have all 8 to 10 steps of what you can do if you want to do it step by step. And that's the easiest way to get ranked in Google and on YouTube. And you're just kind of picking up all the real estate from Google to get more clicks and views on your website. So that's it for the examples on word count. It got a little longer than what I expected, but I really just want to show you how all this stuff kind of ties together, but also how I have written right here that Google says to aim around 2,000 words to have the most in-depth details, but how I just showed you with the psychiatrist and with the hairstylist that 2,000 words didn't necessarily mean that Google ranked that number 1. We had one person that had a more in-depth article and they kept on topic. They didn't put things that were irrelevant to the article just to put more words on the page. So while yes, we want to have the most comprehensive information because that gives us a better user experience, we don't necessarily need to word stuff on the page just to reach a quota. And so with all that being said, in the next video, we're going to talk about readability and why that's important on this SEO journey as well. I'll see you there.